I'm Eric Pratt from US Broadcast Distribution, and I'm here with Marco Branzanti from Axle Technology, and we're talking about Multicross Convert. It does what it says that it does. It will convert to and from just about anything, and we're going to talk about a couple of the applications of how you can take SDI, NDI, and IP formats and mix them together for a variety of different uses.
Right. Well, Multicross Converter is actually the equivalent of the glue products, the hardware products that you usually have in your facility. Hardware products are very good at converting, like from SDI to HDMI or from one type of audio to the other. This is software, so it's very good at converting all the formats which are typical of the software world. So, of course, in the computer you can pop in a card like a Blackmagic card or something else, so you get your SDI interfaces. But it's very good at interfacing with the IP world. So IP streams, you can pull them in and convert to SDI, for example, or do the opposite. You get your SDI and you encode to IP. And
it's an encoder.
And
it's a decoder, but it's a cross.
That's right. Why? There are other formats which are interesting. One of these is NDI, of course, which is very popular. So you can also convert between NDI and IP, NDI and video IP, and NDI.
And audio.
Oh, yes.
NDI to Dante, Dante to analog.
Correct. And then there's another format which is interesting. We must talk about that, which is the Axle implementation of WebRTC, which gives you ultra low latency
for
video.
Remote production.
Yes, for remote production. Okay, so the GUI is actually organized as a multi-viewer. And what you can do is you can define how many channels you need, and each window will actually perform a conversion. So the first thing you must do is actually choose your source. Of course, the source can be an audio-video device.
So this is SDI.
Right.
More or less.
More or less, actually.
Could be other things.
Could be other things. For example, if you buy a Blackmagic ST2110, it'll actually give you, it's an audio-video device, but you're actually getting ST2110
Any
IP.
physical device.
Correct. A file is just a loop, usually done just for testing purposes. Or
Is there going to be clips?
Yeah, clips in loop mode. IP is an IP input. What is that? Well, the technology that we have on the background is the same that VLC uses. It's FFmpeg. So I usually say if VLC can decode and receive that stream, and it usually does most of the stream possible, we're going to do that also. So we're talking about SRT, RTMP as well, MPEG, UDP, transport streams, any TTP will actually kind of work. And then we have NDI, of course. So
high bandwidth, NDI HX.
Correct, and it's going to, scan the network and give you the list of sources. And the last one is Axle implementation of WebRTC, which is useful for remote production. We're going to talk about that application at the end. So for each of these, then you can apply a small conversion. I'm talking about video conversion, so cropping, mirroring, rotating, aspect ratio correction as well. This is kind of nice, for example, if you have to encode and go to those social media which only accept 9:16 file, and you can do all that. Or actually, we also have color, the space transformation. It can do, also keying and so forth. So once you apply that, you must decide where you want to send it. So input, of course, is only one. Audio correction, I didn't mention that. So you have audio gain and so forth. So if you can only do one input at a time, but you can do multiple outputs at the same time. So you can go out in IP, and that would be like encoding, right? And it also SRT, RTMP.
SDI to SRT.
Correct. NDI output simultaneously, so you can do IP to NDI,
UDP to NDI.
Okay. And you can go, of course, your SDI output. This is particularly useful if you just need to get a stream there and put it in your routing.
WebRTC to SDI.
Correct. And the audio. This is particularly interesting. Why? In some scenario, it's particularly hard to de-embed the audio to send it to your audio production mixer. So if you have an IP stream there or also NDI, how do you de-embed the audio? And
so NDI to analog, NDI to Dante.
Correct.
Dante to analog?
Yes, of course. And the last one is RTC.
Yeah.
RTC is a bi-directional format, which allows you to get your video compressed in H.264 and get incredibly low latency. We're talking about 100 milliseconds, more or less. So imagine the scenario, we've done a lot of these. You get your 5 cameras from your studio, you plug into a multicross converter, and you plug it to the internet. And then wherever you are in the world, you get another multicross converter, plug it to the internet, and you're going to receive those videos at high quality and maybe go to SDI or NDI and directly plug it into your video mixer and do your production. Right.
And
then the other thing is you can take your program output and your multi-viewer output from your video mixer and send it back to the studio, maybe just to have on a monitor and to know what's going on.
So a pair of these multi-cross convert boxes can act as a remote production facility.
Right. Usually what we also do is we embed the audio with one or more of the video, the camera streams, and they will be synced together. We do the same thing with the audio going back and send it to the studio, and what you can do is a real normal conversation with no delays, and it's really like if the studio was just next door.
That's awesome. So if you have any more questions about multi-cross converter, you want to imagine your own digital Swiss Army knife, please check out them at axletechnology.com, or you can check us out at usbroadcast.co. Once again, thanks for watching.